minutes maybe. And then we arrived in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I think the trip total was like 18 hours or 15 hours, something. Maybe like flight time was 15 hours, not like including the layover. I can't remember, but it seemed very quick to me. When we arrived in Dar es Salaam, it's a really, really busy, like chaotic city. So we were only staying there a night. We really didn't explore because we didn't feel comfortable. It was really like a congested place. So yeah, we just stayed in the hotel and we ate in our hotel also. And it was called the Chelsea Hotel, and I think we paid like $25 per person for that one night. So it was like $50 for that night. The next morning we took the ferry over to Zanzibar. And y'all, let me tell you, the ferry is a motherfucking setup. If you're not African, I don't care. Like, that shit was a setup. So we had took a Uber, because you could Uber in Dar es Salaam. And we took it to the ferry, and the ferry is like right up the street. It's like a 7-minute drive. And when I tell y'all, like, as soon as the Uber was pulling up, all of them were just staring, and there was like a whole bunch of people outside the ferry, and they were staring at us like inside the car. So wait, let me go back, scratch back real quick. Please buy your ticket the day before you get on the ferry. So that day when we landed in Dar es Salaam, we had went to the ferry to purchase our tickets for the next day, and I'm so glad we did, because if we didn't, we probably would have really, really got scammed, like out of our money. So definitely get the tickets the day before. So anyways, we pull up to the place. The Uber guy pops the trunk. Y'all, like, why did he pop the trunk? We had already read online there's gonna be people like faking as if they work for the ferry, but they don't. They just want like tips and money. Basically, like I said, like try to scam you. So the Uber guy, I'm pretty sure he was already hip. So he popped the trunk, and me and my friend get out. There already is these two guys already pulling our bags out the trunk, and we're like, no, like we got it. We have our own. We can carry our own suitcases. And like they were just like, no, no, no. We work here. We work here. They did not fucking work there, and that pissed me the hell off. So I mean, it made me mad, but honestly, we probably wouldn't have known where to go without them. But of course, like, so after they took our bags and showed us where we had to walk and like check in for the ferry, they were like, can we get tip? And that's another thing, we did not exchange our money. Please exchange your money when you get to Africa, because we only had like large bills. So we end up giving them like, I think like $30 just to carry our bags for 2 minutes. So that sucked. So yeah, if you go there and you're planning on place where you feel out of your comfort zone. Later that night, my friend had booked a famous restaurant for us to eat at called the Emerson Spice Hotel. And the hotel is really, really freaking old, and you have to walk up all these steps to get to the rooftop. That had a beautiful scenery. Definitely worth the huffing and puffing. And, the restaurant, it was just like I think a 5-course meal place, and you got to try like different plates, and they had dessert, and it was just so beautiful. The weather was great outside, and the meals was like, it was just, everything was perfect. And I think it was only like $40 per person. You guys definitely have to check this restaurant out when you get there. It's very famous. I even seen it on like Netflix. It was on, I forgot what the name of the show was, but yeah, it was pretty cool being somewhere that you know, seen on TV. So the food was all like seafood, like shrimp and octopus, and just, if you're a picky eater, don't go there. But if you like to try new things, I would definitely recommend this. As like a 5 out of 5 experience. So the very next day, we did a beach day trip excursion, which was $51. It took us to 3 islands. I'm pulling it up now on my computer. So we went to Canggu, I believe, Island, which is Prison Island, Bawi Island, and oh yeah, it was like a sand dune type of thing. I can't explain it, but it was really nice. We were on this big yacht. It was just me and my friend and this lady from Hawaii who moved to Tanzania with her husband and her, I believe, 13-year-old daughter. So it was really chill and fun. We got to play with turtles on Prison Island and feed them. It was really like a cool experience. And my friend, they did snorkeling. I can't swim, so I didn't snorkel, but I got to sit out in the water. The water is so blue and so pretty. Like, it's something I've never ever seen before. Probably like the cleanest water I've seen in my entire life. So it was really cool. They also do a lunch on the boat for you that's included, and it was a variety of different I guess dishes that they eat there, and it was good to me. But I eat everything, so yeah. I believe we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get back till 5 p.m. So it is an all-day trip, but you will love it. People are so nice. You get to just meet everyone from around the world. There was a lot of people from the UK, though. The most Europeans were there more than any other, like any other nationalities, whatever. I was hardly, I probably met only like 2 Americans on the trip. But yeah, I definitely would recommend that too. That would be in the link below if you want to check that out. So yeah, I think the excursion is good for the money. So the next day, we took a spice and cooking tour, and this was $41 per person. I also recommend this. Definitely recommend this. Online you will see the spice tour, but make sure you get the cooking part as well. We got the chance to go to a small village and cook with the villagers, and it was just an amazing experience. It's something I'm never going to forget. We got to make this cassava dish by hand, but we also was showing us how he could climb up there, and he was singing us a song. Hakuna Matata is like a phrase they use in Tanzania. I did not know that. I know it was on The Lion King, but I didn't know that's something like people really say. So yeah, the Tanzanians, they use that for everything. Like you'll always hear someone say Hakuna Matata. And I thought that was like, really cool, because I just felt like, well, damn, I watched The Lion King when I was younger, and I'm really in Africa at a place that use Hakuna Matata. So, I thought that was really cool. So to finish our night off, we couldn't leave without visiting the famous night market in Zanzibar. So we had tried the Zanzibar pizza, and we had picked up some food. It was like octopus I had, and my friend had got shrimp. Probably not the most sanitary thing we done, because the food was like in open air, and like it was so many bugs and flies flying over everything. It was just sick. Luckily, like once you pick what you want, they put the food back in the oven. So I hope that killed any like fly poop that could have been in my food or whatever. But it was good, and we did not get sick, thank God. So yeah, if you want to, like I said, if you're a risk taker, visit the night market. It has a lot of like different foods, and it even have like sugar cane juice, which was really, really, really good, and some other stuff. We didn't try everything, but if I was to go back, I would be open to trying more stuff. We left Zanzibar to go visit Arusha, and we did this by plane, and it was roughly like $150 round trip. We stayed at an Airbnb there in Arusha. It was this lady who had this, it was an American lady actually who had this company in Tanzania. She had like a safari company in Arusha. And like in the back of her house was a little apartment that she rented out that was really, really beautiful. It was like you were living in the jungle. So we stayed out there just to take a safari. And I believe we was there for 3 days, 2 nights. So it was kind of just wasting time until we did our safari. We visited some restaurants. All of them were pretty good and cheap, which I like. So yeah. So our last big excursion was our safari trip in Arusha. I know I'm gonna say this wrong, but it was at the Ngorongoro crater. This very huge, scenic, like beautiful crater that have a lot of different animals. It was nice, but it wasn't really doing enough for me. We should have went to the Serengeti, but it's just so freaking expensive, and since like we're broke as fuck, and an apple, some cookies, and some bread. I don't know. I didn't like it, but it kept me full. I should say. Um, yeah, it was a lot of other jeeps and stuff around, so we rode around the crater. The crater itself was like a 3-hour trip because you had to go like all the way down and then go all the way back up when we were done. But yeah, overall, Tanzania, I will rate it like a 7 out of 10. There's a lot of things I wish that we could have done differently, but that was out of our control. Like I said, like we had to plan this trip quick. Since our Thailand trip was canceled, we had like a month to get this done. I would not recommend, if you're not like a traveler, do not have this as your first trip. Like, have this as like your 4th trip, because I wouldn't say this is a vacation. It's like a learncation. It was an educational trip, and it's like, yeah, it was just definitely educational, and it's just something just to take in and to just, be out of your comfort zone. So yeah, if you're not used to catching flights or like planning things, I would wait before I tried to, go